SB 1160, I believe we're on at this time. Welcome.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Stone. Thank you for allowing me to present SB 1160. It's an important reform measure that will improve data collection and medical treatment delivery in California's for California's injured workers. In 2012, the legislature passed SB 863, a landmark reform measure in the history of the California's workers' compensation system. The bill helped renew the grand bargain that is the workers' compensation system. Significant savings were generated by reducing frictional costs and abuses, and injured workers receive increased benefits. Since the implementation of SB 863, medical costs are down, workers' compensation rates are down, and many signs of improvement can be seen throughout the system. However, stakeholders on both sides have brought forward concerns about continued friction and delays throughout the system, including systemic fraudulent activity. Today, I am proud to stand with the firefighters to author a bill that will hopefully begin the process of addressing these challenges. Let me say that on the onset that this is a work in progress. I fully expect to be working with all stakeholders to try to address all concerns. Shortly, you will hear concerns from employers and insurers with this bill. I am committed to working with these organizations to improve SB 1160. Further, should this bill leave this committee and pass off the Senate floor, I commit to parking this bill on the Assembly floor to address and ensure we have time to make sure that SB 1160 is a complete, fully cooked bill with everybody in support. So, what does SB 1160 do? As currently written, SB 1160 does 5 things. First, SB 1160 increases penalties for employers who refuse to submit data to the Workers' Compensation Information System. The current penalty is $5,000 per year, and it is just simply not enough for compliance. Without this data, we simply lack the information to improve the workers' compensation system and make sure that injured workers receive the treatment that they need. By gradually increasing the penalty structure in line with such states as Florida and Texas, SB 1160 should make a significant improvement in our ability to gather data and improve the workers' compensation system. Secondly, SB 1160 reduces barriers to improve injured workers seeking physical therapy by requiring the Department of Workers' Compensation to create a guideline for physical therapy for a wide range of workplace injuries. By creating a guideline, the Department of Workers' Compensation can give employers and medical providers explicit guidance on what should be approved for a specific workplace injury, reducing friction, limiting medical disputes, and speeding up medical treatment. Third, the bill requires the utilization review vendors to give medical providers at least 72 hours to respond to a request for additional information before denying treatment. By increasing peer-to-peer discussion, this requirement will also reduce medical disputes. Fourth, under existing law, medical treatment can be denied using treatment guidelines that are 12 years old. This is totally unacceptable. SB 1160 would change that by requiring that if the official treatment guideline is more than 5 years old, alternative guidelines can be used if they are evidence-based and widely recognized. Finally, SB 1160 requires that all utilization review processes are accredited by an independent nonprofit entity. This will ensure that an independent entity can audit a utilization review company or process and make sure that they are making medical decisions for the right reasons and in the right way rather than due to financial interest or incentives. I'd now like to introduce Christy Boma from the California Professional Firefighters to speak on the challenges firefighters are facing to get appropriate treatment and how SB 1160 can help us address those challenges.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Christy Bauma on behalf of the California Professional Firefighters, pleased to be here as sponsors of this measure. I first would need to thank the staff and the chairman for all their hard work in digging into what were stacks and stacks and stacks of utilization review and IMR denials that firefighters received in the course of seeking treatment and trying to get back to work, trying to find consistent patterns. And why would a committed consultant, and my members have to submit all of this and have to traipse through these stacks and stacks of IMR denials is because the data that should hold this information is incomplete. So I would echo the comments of the chairman and the author to say we were part of the negotiating team for SB 863 that was adopted in 2012. Utilization review was not touched in that reform. So one big issue that was a big significant change in the system was independent medical review. And I would say candidly that my members swallowed hard with that reform and continue to criticize it. But I think after looking at the information that we've received from our members, IMR has just exposed some inconsistencies in the utilization review arena. And I think that's why we, along with the senator, are more than willing to work with all the constituencies to figure out how we solve this problem together. That's how SB 863 found its way to the governor's desk, and I anticipate this might take a similar path. SB 863 also contained a provision that required the division to work with stakeholders on data elements specifically for public self-insured plans. What I know is I come before this committee, I speak with the governor urging the adoption or adjustments of particular tenets of the workers' compensation system, and what I get back is the data is incomplete. Well, the experiences of my members are not incomplete. And I know it's difficult to rely on anecdotes, so we're here joining with you to say let's not have to rely only on anecdotes, let's get more robust data. And then just specifically to firefighters, workers have the occasion or sometimes unfortunate circumstance that they end up in the workers' compensation system. For firefighters, it's just a matter of how many times they end up in the workers' compensation system during the course of their career. It's a job they love. They seek to return to work as soon as practical, and getting them the right treatment without unnecessary delays is appropriate. And even for employers and insurers who may or may not have nice things to say about this bill, too much friction, unnecessary utilization review just creates that delay and costs everyone more money. So we're happy to work on this together, and we urge your support today.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any other proponents of the bill? Please come forward.
Rich Seaman, California Labor Federation, also in support.
Thank you.
Steve Katalika, representing the California Society of Industrial Medicine and Surgery, the California Neurology Society, and the California Society of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, in support of the bill. And we would emphasize the need to put some real boots on the ground experience into the implementation of the elements of this bill. Many has slipped between cup and lip. We'd like to make sure that what is the result actually works.
Thank you for your testimony.
Mariko Yoshihara with the California Employment Lawyers Association in support.
Thank you for your testimony. Is there anybody else who would like to speak in support of this bill? If not, I'll invite opponents to please step forward.
Mr. Vice Chair, members, Jeremy Mers on behalf of the California Chamber of Commerce. Actually, despite Ms. Boma's comments, we're not in opposition to this bill today. We certainly understand it's a work in progress. We too think that solving frictional costs and frictional issues in the system is important. We appreciate the senator's measured and thoughtful approach and collaborative approach to tackle this problem and to start a process. The point of contention I would state is that while I agree more data is good and necessary and helps stakeholders and help policymakers make better decisions, see what is going right and what is going wrong in the system, the data itself does not show a fundamental issue with UR. And so to fix UR in a substantive way with incomplete data, we think is problematic. That said, we think there are ways to improve the process of UR, to help it work more efficiently, to help it work better for injured workers. And to the extent we're talking about improving that process, that's a conversation employers want to continue to engage in. So again, look forward to the process, appreciate your work, appreciate your staff's work on this, and no position today.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Jason Schmelzer here on behalf of the California Coalition on Workers' Compensation. Also happy to disappoint Christie and with no opposition to the bill. Really appreciate the senator's approach, really appreciate the staff's approach to reaching out early, setting the stage for a conversation to take place. With respect to the data, one of the problems that we have with workers' compensation is that it's what's known as a long tail line, meaning that it's not just reporting that leads to data problems, it's the fact that you have to wait so long after you make a change to understand what actually happened and why it happened. But that being said, I'm sure we could sit here and bicker about particular lines in the bill, and I'm sure we'll write a letter, but for today's purposes, I just want to say that we appreciate the approach that the chair has taken with the bill and look forward to working with him.
Thank you for your testimony.
Mr. Chairman, members, Theo Payos, representing the Association of California Insurance Companies, whose members collectively write a large portion of the California market, and as the two previous witnesses stated, we have some concerns, but we're willing to work with the author and staff, and we take in faith his comments that that'll happen. So that's our position for now. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Don Shinsky. I'm here on behalf of the Western Occupational and Environmental Medical Association. We too have no position on the bill. We do appreciate that this is part of a much longer ongoing conversation that we're pleased to be a part of. We do want to, with last week's amendments, we just do want to raise some of the challenges there might be with mandating a 5-year shelf life on medical treatment guidelines, and we look forward to speaking about those with staff. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your testimony.
Good afternoon, members. Lori Kammerer, Small Business California. We, too, have not taken a position on the bill at this point. We are supportive of the continued discussions. I want to remind Senator Leno, too, that your bill in 2011, SB 826, sponsored by SB Cal, put the penalties onto the WCIS. Obviously, the $5,000 isn't high enough to get the data that we need, so we are interested in discussing an increase in those penalties. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Any others in opposition or neutral that would like to come forward? If not, I'll turn it to our senators for any comments.
I move the bill.
Senator Leno moves the bill. Senator Mendoza is obviously not cooked yet. In its present form, I can't support it, but I look forward to working with you and seeing what the final product looks like, and appreciate all the testimony. If you'd like to give a closing statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No, I appreciate the comments, and I look forward to working with you and keeping you appraised of what's going on in this particular bill, but look forward to working with the concerns and making this bill a win-win for everybody. Thank you.
Sure.
Respectfully ask for your vote.
So this will be referred to appropriations next. If you'll call the roll.
The motions do pass to appropriations. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. Stone?
No.
Stone, no. Jackson?
Aye.
Jackson, aye. Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye. Mitchell?
Okay, we'll leave the roll open, Senator, so we'll move to SB 1175.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. SB 1175, which would create a 12-month time frame to submit a medical bill for the treatment of injured workers. But before I begin, let me say that I take the amendments suggested in the analysis as author's amendments to address CMA's concerns. Since 1913, employers have paid medical providers for the lawful treatment of injured workers. Without such a system, workers' compensation system would not work. For nearly all medical providers, the goal is to be paid as quickly as possible. They would not want to sit on a bill as they would delay a payment. Recently, stakeholders have reported that some medical providers are submitting bills that are more than a year old. In some cases, these bills can be many years old. Submitting no bills, particularly bills that are sold where the underlying documentation may be difficult to find, increasing frictional costs for employers without providing a benefit for injured workers. It may also lead to an employer paying twice for the same service. In other medical systems, time limits are placed on when a medical provider can submit a medical bill and still be paid. SB 1175 would create a medical bill submission time limit of 12 months of the date of service, which is the same time as a medical bill time limitation for Medicare. SB 1175 also provides that the Division of Workers' Compensation may create a good cause exemption for the 12-month medical bill limit. I know, I'd like to now introduce Lori Kammerer from the Small Business California to speak on behalf of SB 1175.
Great. Good afternoon. Mr. Chair and members, Lori Kammerer, Small Business California. We represent about 5,000 small businesses, about 150 trade associations in California. We have worked diligently through the years on implementing effective implementation of SB 863, whether it's been through the regulation process, whether it's been through cleanup legislation, or bills such as important as SB 1175. You wonder why Small Business California would have a very strong interest in this bill. We look at, physicians and medical practitioners. They're also small businesses, too. We find it very interesting that they're not able to get their billings in requests for payment until after a year after the service. Most small businesses want to get paid. Most physicians want to get paid on time. And so there are other timelines in the legislation in SB 863 that call for payments or files to be formed at a certain amount of time, and we think that this bill, giving the physicians a year to submit their billings, would be more than fair. So we urge your support. Thank you.
Are there any others in support? Please come forward. Is there anyone in opposition? Please come forward. Seeing none. The bill's been moved by Senator Jackson. Would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your vote, Mr. Chair.
Happy to support the
I
bill.
just want to make one comment, though. It's important that we fix this workers' comp system, and I know that we have different views on how to fix it, but this has been a problem in this state for decades. Workers don't get what they need. Employers are overpaying. Insurance companies are come and go in this area, and I strongly support a workers' compensation system. It was a contract made by workers to basically forego their right to sue for injuries that are job related in exchange for a promise that their injuries would be addressed quickly, that they would be compensated fairly for legitimate problems associated with those work-related injuries, and they would be treated so they could get back to work as quickly as possible. I don't see that in today's system, and I don't know who's responsible for that. But if we treated workers quickly, when someone comes into to work or calls in and says, I have been hurt on the job, I need to see a doctor, and rather than say, I don't believe you, if we treated those people as quickly, we know that when injuries are dealt with quickly, that people get back to work sooner, and that the amount of finagling, if you will, that goes on is minimal. There may be a little, but the cost that is expended to assume that every worker isn't telling the truth, or that insurance companies don't want to pay, that the treatment isn't appropriate. I mean, this is a broken system. And so I thank you for bringing this, but I from the time I was first in the Assembly back a decade and a half ago, we have not made the strides necessary to make this system work to the benefit of everybody. So I thank you for doing this, and I hope we can all get everybody in the room and figure that, we can put a man on the moon. We can't figure out how to make this system work. It's just frustrating to be here. It's sort of deja vu all over again. But I thank you for making the effort to try to fix it.
Thank you. Senator Jackson.
Thank you for your comments. This will be referred to appropriations. Please call the roll.
The motion is due pass as amended to appropriations. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Jackson?
Aye.
Jackson, aye. Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye. Mitchell?
We'll leave it open for Senator Mitchell to cast her vote. Thank you.
Got one more.
Yes, so SB 1379, is that right?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. SB 1379 is an important reform measure that will bring California's workers' compensation system in line with the court system. In 2012, the legislature required that with limited exceptions, certified interpreters must provide interpretive services at workers' compensation hearings and depositions. However, since the creation of this requirement, I have heard troubling reports of fraudulent activity by interpreters before the Southern California Workers' Compensation Appeals Board. Specifically, the Interpreters Guild of California, the sponsor of this bill, reports that individuals are claiming to be certified interpreters, but are in fact not certified and illegally providing interpretive services. This raises the fear that injured workers are being deprived of legally guaranteed interpretive services, opening the door to abuse and serious problems. SB 1379 seeks to address this problem by following the policies of California's court system and require that certified interpreters identify themselves on the record of a hearing or deposition and provide identification to verify that they are who they say they are. I'd like to now introduce Angie Birchfield from the Interpreters Guild of America to speak on the challenges facing her membership and how SB 1369 will solve those challenges.
Good morning. Well, I guess I should say good afternoon. My name is Angie Birchfield. I'm a court-certified Spanish interpreter and the unit chair of IGA, the Interpreters Guild of America. We represent interpreters of all spoken language here in California and across the country. On behalf of our members, interpreters working for the California courts and in the workers' compensation system, we are pleased to sponsor SB 1379, a bill that fights fraud in California's workers' compensation system, fosters legal compliance, and ensures the injured workers and deponents with limited English proficiency have the services of state-certified and registered interpreters as is required by law. Many of our members have witnessed instances of non-certified interpreters giving false information, using false credentials, or otherwise posing as certified interpreters in sensitive administrative and legal proceedings. SB 1379 provides for safeguards to prevent such illegal and fraudulent practices used to game and defraud the workers' comp system. SB 1379 will make for greater reliability, fairness, and transparency in California's workers' compensation system, both for injured workers and employers alike. We at IGA are very grateful for the opportunity to address you here today and to sponsor SB 1379. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Any other witnesses or proponents? Please come forward.
Good afternoon. Carl Brackensick on behalf of the California Workers' Compensation Interpreters Association. We would like to thank the author and the sponsors of this legislation. They have identified an area of significant and growing fraud, and we congratulate them and we urge your strong support of this legislation.
Thank you for your testimony. Sir.
Mitch Seaman, California Labor Federation, also in support.
Thank you, sir.
Lori Kammerer, Small Business California, also in support.
Thank you for your testimony. Any others in support? Is there anyone in opposition to SB 1379? Seeing one? No one? I'll turn to our senators.
Mr. Chair, I move the bill.
Senator Leno moves the bill. Would you like to make any final comments?
Senators, thank you again, and I appreciate your support and respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Mendoza. This was referred to appropriations.
The motion is due pass to appropriations. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Jackson? Jackson, aye. Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye. Mitchell?
We'll leave it open for Senator Mitchell.
I know.
Yeah. Take care of that.
The only one she didn't vote on was,
Has he been here all along?
we'll start with Hall. No, she missed. No, start with.
Okay, we're gonna go over the bills that we have on call, so the senators can leave, and I'll wait for Senator Mitchell to be here. We'll go ahead and begin with item 3, SB 1063 by Senator Hall. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Mendoza?
Aye.
Aye. Senator Stone?
No.
Senator Stone, no.
The item has 4 votes. It is out. Next, we'll go ahead and take item 1166, item number 5, Jackson. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. Mitchell?
Okay, we'll leave that one open for Senator Mitchell to add on. Okay, we're going to bring SB 1344 by Senator Stone. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
The motion is due pass to appropriations. Jackson? No. Jackson, no. Mitchell?
Okay, we'll leave the roll open for other members to add on, and we'll be definitely having it for reconsideration. Okay, we'll wait a few minutes for Senator Mitchell to arrive.
No, wait.
Okay, we have one more item that we could bring up at this time, and that's going to be SB 1001 by Senator Mitchell. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Motion is due pass to appropriations. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye.
Okay, the bill is out, has 4 yes votes.
So now we'll wait for
We'll wait for Senator Mitchell. All right. Going to go ahead and reconvene the meeting. We will have 3 items that are still on call. Would like to start with item number 4, SB 1160. Madam Secretary, please open the roll.
Mitchell?
SB 1160?
Yes.
Aye.
Mitchell, aye.
All right. All right, the bill is out, 4-1. Next item, number 5, SB 1166. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mitchell?
Aye.
Mitchell, aye. That's out. That's 4 votes.
Okay, the bill is out, 4-1. Next item, number 6, SB 1175. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mitchell?
Aye.
Mitchell, aye. That's 5 votes.
Okay, the bill has 5 votes, it is out. Last item, item number 7, SB 1344 by Senator Stone. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mitchell?
Not voting.
That measure fails.
Okay, that measure fails, and has been granted reconsideration. And I'm sorry, we have one more, item number 8, SB 1379. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mitchell?
Aye.
Mitchell, aye. 5 votes.
Okay, that bill is out, has 5 votes, and that concludes our meeting. Thank you so much for your patience today. Thank you.